"It is not a warm-up event. It is a grand slam," thunders an outraged voice from the heart of professional tennis. And this outburst is not aimed at some random exhibition match, but at the prestigious United States Open, specifically at its surprising decision to revamp the mixed doubles format in the year 2025. So, what exactly is happening in the labyrinths of the tennis world? And why are icons like Carlos Alcaraz, Emma Raducanu, Novak Djokovic, and Jannik Sinner all caught in a whirlwind of debate, applause, and stern criticism? In this deep dive, we will journey through the reactions sparked by the United States Open's risky experiment, the fiery words of 9 times Grand Slam champion Kristina Mladenovic, and the curious question, does calling a Grand Slam fun disrespect the history and sacrifice behind every single major title? Now, let us unravel the core of this brewing storm. The United States Open, known for occasionally embracing innovation, from final set tiebreaks to primetime scheduling, has chosen to shift the mixed doubles competition before the singles brackets. That decision alone would have caught attention, but organizers went further, encouraging the biggest stars of the sport to sign up for it. In response, the tennis universe practically exploded with surprise, as the likes of Alcaraz teamed up with Raducanu, Djokovic joined forces with Olga Danilova, Madison Keys partnered with Frances Tiafoe, and Jannik Sinner stepped onto the court with Emma Navarro. The draw instantly became a lightning rod for media commentary and fans' excitement. But is this ground-shaking format a case of bold and brilliant marketing, or is it disrespecting the venerable notion of a Grand Slam? The first, and arguably loudest, voice of dissent came from Kristina Mladenovic, the French star with 6 times women's doubles titles and 3 times mixed doubles crowns to her credit, totaling 9 Grand Slam triumphs. She did not pull any punches when asked about the superstar's enthusiastic yet seemingly casual attitude. While the likes of Alcaraz remark about just having fun during this early week mixed doubles extravaganza, a statement presumably meant to charm fans, Mladenovic found it anything but charming. Referring to such declarations as embarrassing, she lambasted the breezy nonchalance that, in her words, trashed the sacrifices required to clinch a major trophy, even in doubles. When you hear Alcaraz or others say they are going to have fun while preparing for the United States Open, it is embarrassing, she declared. A Grand Slam is neither preparation nor fun. It is years of sacrifice. When you are little, you dream of winning one, even in doubles. Such remarks, stinging with frustration, highlight a deeper rift, the clash between a new wave of commercially driven tennis spectacles and a more traditional mindset that preserves the age-old sanctity of a slam. Mladenovic's words hardly echo in a vacuum. The tennis ecosystem is humming with debate. Some players echo her criticisms, losing no time in labeling the new format problematic. Others defend the creative spin, praising it for infusing fresh energy into an aging schedule. Mladenovic goes so far as to argue that this event should not be called a Grand Slam at all, if it is basically a promotional show. Indeed, she posits that if the mixed doubles is just a comedic introduction, a sort of cameo performance designed to lure in the crowds, then it belongs in a separate category. Traditionalists applaud this stance, while fans who relish star power and spectacle see no problem in a weekend of dynamic, lighthearted matchups. Meanwhile, curious onlookers wonder if the lure of a new era in tennis can be balanced with the game's hallmark sense of history. Of course, whose name is intriguing doubles team number 1, Carlos Alcaraz and Emma Raducanu? On paper, these two players define rising star power. Alcaraz, a beloved world number 2, has dazzled audiences with lightning footwork and an all-court game reminiscent of legends from decades gone by. Raducanu, not so long ago, soared to the top after a fairy tale victory at the United States Open singles competition. Their pairing instantly set millions of social media feeds ablaze. Interviews and press conferences lit up. "We cannot wait to see them," fans gushed. Alcaraz and Raducanu might just be unstoppable, predicted others. Then along came the put-down from none other than tennis commentator and coach Renai Stubbs, famous for working with Serena Williams and known for a direct brand of analysis. "That is the weakest pair," she quipped, ranking them below even the duo of Iga Swiatek and Casper Ruud. In Stubbs's view, singles success does not automatically guarantee doubles brilliance. The drama is not finished there. At the center, we also find Novak Djokovic, a living legend who has partnered, somewhat surprisingly, with Olga Danilova. Although he remains the standard-bearer for singles dominance, fans question whether this new approach, plunging into mixed doubles before the main draw, could hamper his quest for yet another slam singles title. After all, Djokovic has famously spoken of the razor-thin margin that separates champions from near champions, and some ask if he is risking it all by devoting energy to mixed doubles. Jannik Sinner has similarly signed on, teaming with Emma Navarro. Both are determined to show that their talents can shine in all formats. But does that overshadow the concerns raised by purists? Does playing doubles before singles compromise the athletic focus needed for the bigger prize? John Zielinski, a two-times mixed doubles Grand Slam champion, escalated the conversation by spotlighting what he calls an emerging pattern, doubling down on star power for the sake of an at-times glitzy show, while real doubles specialists find themselves overlooked or overshadowed. With frustration, he questions whether the United States Open is crossing the line from pure sport to entertainment-driven extravaganza. Mladenovic concurs that the shift is strategic genius from a financial standpoint, because, obviously, big names equal massive ticket sales. But for her, the essence of tennis is tarnished by relegating genuine mixed doubles veterans to the margins in favor of marquee signups who might treat these matches like placeholders. And that suspicion is fueled further every time an Alcaraz or Raducanu publicly calls the event fun, or a Djokovic half smiles about enjoyment above all. Look deeper, and you will find an underlying question. Has modern tennis come to a crossroads where main draw superstars are forced to pick between tradition and showmanship? Mladenovic is unequivocal about which side she stands on. It is a brilliant idea from a business perspective, she concedes, but from a sporting perspective, it is problematic. She believes that preparing for a slam is a journey of discipline and unyielding focus. If players waltz in, giggling about their partnerships and speaking of it as a delightful amuse-bouche, the formality and importance of that trophy vanish. When you are little, she says, you dream of winning a Grand Slam, even in doubles. Her words carry the weight of personal experience, having made that dream come true a total of 9 times. She sees this format shift as an existential challenge to the meaning of Grand Slam itself. For many fans, however, it is an absolute joy to see the likes of Djokovic or Alcaraz doubling up in an event so often overshadowed by singles. The mixed doubles can be a mesmerizing brand of tennis, showcasing synergy that regular doubles sometimes misses. A male star's thunderous forehand might pair with a female star's unstoppable return in a dance of power and finesse. The comedic warmth of cross-gender banter on the court, the dramatic interplay of strategies, there is no denying that it can be a fantastic crowd pleaser. Some sports journalists argue that if top singles players do not sign up, most casual spectators would completely tune out of the category. This new approach might be the adrenaline shot that the discipline has been craving, turning an often hollow bracket into prime entertainment for the stadium crowd. So, what is the harm in that? Of course, we cannot ignore the very human dimension. Professional tennis is a grueling world, and many might be relieved at the thought that the best players are, in fact, capable of loosening up. Perhaps fun is not an insult, but a testament to the fact that these generational phenoms can appreciate a less pressurized environment. Though Mladenovic's argument stands that a Grand Slam, in any capacity, is a high-stakes affair. This friction, between the desire to open up tennis to a broader audience and the need to protect the sanctity of a Grand Slam, drives the storyline forward. It illuminates long-standing tensions. Is tennis first and foremost a grand spectacle or an austere tradition? And is the United States Open's new mixed doubles layout the future or just an aberration? Before we press on, let me pause for a moment with a friendly ask. If you find this exploration of the shifting tennis landscape eye-opening, give us a nod of approval. Your show of support helps shine a greater light on controversies and compelling stories like these. As we move forward, let us remember that everything from scheduling to player motivation might shape the next generation of champions and fans. So, how exactly did Alcaraz and Raducanu find themselves thrust into the crosshairs of Mladenovic's critique? It all started with a press conference gem. "I am excited to team up with Emma," Alcaraz beamed, describing her as the boss on court, an endearing moniker that flattered Raducanu. He then offered a thumbs up to the amazing idea of reimagining the event. On the surface, it seemed like an innocuous endorsement from a playful young athlete. But Mladenovic's frustration crystallized when she pointed out that such remarks undermine the extraordinary toil that goes into winning major doubles matches. Even if the tournament is scheduled before singles, it should not become a practice round, she insists, contending that each match is a test of skill and synergy that demands respect. For her, calling a Grand Slam fun implicitly dismisses the weight those trophies have carried for generations. Once this conflict reached social media, it took on a life of its own. In the swirling vortex of tennis Twitter, fans either praised Mladenovic for telling it like it is or criticized her for sounding bitter and resistant to change. Some directed heated words at Alcaraz, telling him to take it seriously or stick to singles if you are just looking to have fun. Others leapt to the young phenom's defense, calling Mladenovic out of touch and unaware of how these events can be used to attract a new wave of tennis viewers. Meanwhile, Emma Raducanu, no stranger to the spotlight, saw her name trending with fans analyzing her every move, from her practice sessions to these planned doubles training routines with Alcaraz. Indeed, Raducanu herself joked that when Alcaraz asked her, she said yes before he even finished the sentence. The excitement they share is genuine, though ultimately overshadowed by swirling questions. Does that excitement come at the expense of tradition? And yet, from the vantage point of the tournament's marketing team, the world must look bright indeed. The storyline sells itself. Legendary singles champions, or at least top seeds, tangling in an unpredictable prelude to the singles' main draws. Every conversation about how fun or unserious it may be effectively doubles as free publicity. Fans who would ordinarily tune in late in the second week might be drawn to watch from day one, to see how these star-studded pairs cope with the fascinating demands of mixed doubles. Perhaps an Alcaraz overhead slam off a Raducanu lob returns will break the internet, forging a highlight reel for the ages. Or maybe Djokovic's cunning drop shots, combined with Danilova's rock-solid net coverage, will reveal another path to success. And in the background, you have Sinner and Navarro, or Tiafoe and Keys, already proven players in singles, hungry to show that top-level doubles skill is not exclusive to the so-called doubles specialists. But if one wonders how deeply the friction runs, a moment's glance at practice courts offers insight. Observers note that Mladenovic, Łukasz Kubot, Jan Zielinski, and other doubles regulars have convened to discuss how their discipline might be overshadowed by the new wave of star power. Zielinski, a two-times mixed doubles champion who thrives in that specialized environment, seemingly resents what he calls an exhibition event, voicing a sense that the tradition of these tournaments is being compromised in the name of turning a quick profit. The United States Open, for its part, claims the scheduling shift is to let fans enjoy a variety of matches earlier in the event while freeing available courts during the frenzied first few days of singles. Their official statement emphasizes the growing popularity of doubles and the desire to give fans premium experiences from day one. As the tension builds, many wonder if the fuss is overblown. After all, star participation is typically considered a boon in sports. Why not welcome the high profile? Mladenovic's core argument remains that calling this a Grand Slam category might conflate a serious pursuit with an attention-grabbing show. She is not alone in that stance, though. Some fans fear that if the biggest stars treat it like fun, it sends a dangerous message to aspiring doubles specialists, namely, that their event is less prestigious and that the trophies are more for novelty. Seriousness might be intangible, but the intangible can be everything in professional sports. At the same time, the players engaged in the new format do not back down. Carlos Alcaraz, for instance, insists that he wants to get better at doubles and sees this as the perfect chance to refine his volleying and court awareness. Emma Raducanu echoes that sentiment, sharing that for her, stepping onto the court with someone like Alcaraz is a once-in-a-lifetime learning possibility. Still, many suspect that novelty and popularity are the real draws here. So, the question is, will the controversy simmer down once the matches begin, or is this a harbinger of more radical changes to come in tennis scheduling? Here is another moment to reflect on the gravity of it all. The mountains of skill and labor that shape every professional tennis career rarely allow for comedic interludes, especially at Grand Slams. Yet, innovation is inevitable in any sport that hopes to remain relevant to younger generations. Perhaps the real tension arises from the unstoppable wave of modernization crashing into the fortress of tradition. If your heart aches for the beloved heritage of these events, consider how quickly the tennis landscape has changed. And if you see opportunity in novelty, perhaps Mladenovic's warnings sound too much like old guard defeatism. Then again, even the newly minted star Emma Navarro, who joined Sinner, has suggested that while she is thrilled, she also plans to train intensely for the matches, to prove that the mixed doubles can be every bit as competitive as singles. If you are enjoying the story so far and appreciate these thorough looks into the tennis horizon, do keep in touch with us. It is a great way to be sure you never miss the next big revelation, rivalry, or radical twist in the fabric of this beloved sport. Your support may seem small, but it resonates throughout conversations that push tennis forward. Now, let us end by considering the bigger picture. The meltdown started with a straightforward premise: mix top players, invert the schedule, and watch the excitement unfold. However, what began as a short-term promotional strategy has unraveled into a fundamental question. Are we seeing the dawn of a new type of Grand Slam tennis? With endorsements from Alcaraz, Raducanu, Djokovic, and Sinner, it is safe to assume that the improbable star factor is here to stay, unless future controversies force a rollback. Perhaps in a few years, we will look back on the 2025 United States Open as the moment tennis took a wild leap forward in entertainment value. Or we may reflect on it as an embarrassing fiasco that diluted the very essence of a major tournament. For Mladenovic, the label of fun is a stinging affront to the lifelong devotion required to succeed in doubles. She wants fans to remember that even if a format is new, even if the timing is unconventional, a major trophy is not some casual prize but a testament to discipline. And discipline is precisely what the greats, past and present, have put on display. Think of Rafael Nadal training relentlessly for every single point, or Serena Williams forging greatness through daily, punishing sessions. For doubles stalwarts, the entire career is dedicated to partnership synergy and strategic cunning rarely seen in singles. That is the kind of investment Mladenovic defends so vigorously. It remains to be seen whether this new world of Grand Slam exhibition hybrids, as critics call them, can merge showmanship with seriousness. Perhaps it can. Perhaps the Alcaraz-Raducanu duo will stun the crowds not only by entertaining them, but by dominating the draw. Or maybe Djokovic and Danilova will carve out a path to victory, proving that star power can indeed translate to doubles gold. Meanwhile, Mladenovic and others of her creed will be watching, analyzing every rally, pushing for a level of authenticity they fear might vanish in this wave of novelty. As the dust settles, the tennis community stands at a crossroads. The seeds of debate have already taken firm root, and fans race to pick sides. Is the ultimate aim to preserve tradition, or to boldly take tennis to new heights, capturing new generations of fans? The truth, as is often the case, may lie somewhere in the middle, a delicate balancing act of showbiz sparkle and respectful homage to the old ways. One thing, however, is clear. When the biggest names converge in that swirling, high-intensity environment only a slam can create, tennis can become transcendent. The test is how to manage that synergy without undermining the purity that has made the sport legendary. In the end, time will decree whether Mladenovic's stern warning was a rallying cry for tennis purists or the collective overreaction of a generation resistant to the unstoppable wave of progress. So, fasten your seatbelts, or perhaps your tennis shoelaces, because the 2025 United States Open might just redefine doubles forever, and maybe even the very notion of what a Grand Slam should be. Are you ready to witness an unorthodox new chapter in tennis history? Stay tuned, because soon enough, we will see if the dream teams are up to the task, or if the entire concept is destined to be remembered as a fleeting novelty overshadowed by the unstoppable gravity of tradition.